Have you ever heard a strange noise in your house at night? A creak, a bump, a sound you just can't explain. For most of us, we shrug it off, blame it on the house settling or an old pipe. But what if it happened every single night, like clockwork? That's exactly what started happening to the Miller family, and what they discovered is something that'll send a chill down your spine. It all began subtly. Every morning, they'd come downstairs to find their basement door slightly ajar. At first, they didn't think much of it. Maybe someone forgot to close it properly. Maybe the latch was loose. They'd close it and go about their day. But after a week of this, a pattern emerged. No matter how firmly they shut that door, every single morning, it was opened. The family started asking each other. Dad would ask Mum. Mum would ask the kids. Everyone swore they hadn't touched it. The atmosphere in the house started to change. What was once a minor annoyance was slowly becoming a source of tension and unease. The kids got scared to go downstairs by themselves. They started imagining things lurking in the shadows of the basement. The Millers tried everything. They'd checked the door frame to see if it was warped. They examined the hinges and the latch, but everything was perfectly normal. The door was solid wood, heavy, and it wasn't prone to swinging open on its own. There were no drafts, no open windows nearby that could cause such a consistent effect. It just didn't make any sense. Frustrated and a little spooked, they decided they needed proof. They needed to see what was happening when they were all asleep. So, they did what many of us would do in this situation. They set up a camera. They positioned a small, motion-activated night vision camera on a bookshelf in the hallway, pointed directly at the basement door. They made sure the view was clear, checked the battery, and went to bed, feeling a mix of anxiety and anticipation. What would they find? The next morning, they rushed to check the footage. The first few hours were completely still, just a dark, quiet hallway. But then, at exactly 3:15 a.m., the motion sensor was triggered. They watched, holding their breath. On the screen, the doorknob began to turn, slowly, deliberately, as if an invisible hand was gripping it. Then, with a soft click, the latch released, and the heavy door swung inward, opening into the darkness of the basement. They replayed the footage again and again. There was no one there. No person, no animal, no string, no trick of the light. The doorknob turned, and the door opened, all by itself. A cold dread filled the room. This wasn't a faulty latch or a draft. This was something else entirely. Something inexplicable. For the next week, they kept the camera running, and every night, the same event unfolded. Sometimes, the time varied slightly, maybe 3:10 a.m. or 3:20 a.m., but the outcome was always the same. The doorknob would turn, and the door would swing open. They started noticing other strange things on the recordings too. Faint whispers that the camera's microphone picked up. Sounds that were too quiet to hear from their bedrooms. They sounded like distorted voices, but they couldn't make out any words. The family was terrified. Living in the house became a nightmare. Sleep offered no escape because they knew what was happening while they were unconscious. They felt like they were being watched, like they weren't alone in their own home. They even tried barricading the door one night, placing a heavy chair in front of it. When they checked the footage the next morning, what they saw was the most disturbing thing yet. At the usual time, the doorknob turned. The door pushed against the chair, but it didn't open. For a few moments, nothing happened. Then, the doorknob started rattling violently, shaken back and forth with incredible force. The camera captured the sound of loud, aggressive banging from the other side of the door. as if something was desperately trying to get out. The banging continued for nearly a minute before abruptly stopping. The rest of the night was silent. The next morning, the chair was still in place. The door was closed. But when Mr. Miller touched the doorknob, he said it was ice cold, colder than any metal should be. He also found deep scratches on the basement side of the door, splintering the wood around the lock, as if something with sharp claws had been trying to tear its way through. After that night, the family couldn't take it anymore. They contacted paranormal investigators, who came to the house with all their equipment. The investigators confirmed high levels of electromagnetic field fluctuations right around the basement door, especially around 3 a.m. Their audio recorders picked up the same disembodied whispers the family had heard on their camera, only this time they were clearer. One recording captured a distinct, raspy voice saying the word "mine." The investigators suggested a house cleansing, a spiritual ritual to try and get rid of the entity. But the Millers decided against it. They were too scared of what might happen if they tried to fight it. They felt that whatever was in their basement was possessive, and it considered that space to be its own. The open door wasn't an invitation to them. It was a declaration of presence. So what did they do? They moved. They packed their bags and left the house, leaving the basement door and its mystery behind. The house was put back on the market, and as far as we know, the family never told the new owners about what they experienced. They just wanted to forget. But the footage remains. It's been shared in small circles online, analyzed by experts and skeptics alike. Skeptics try to find logical explanations, air pressure changes, cleverly hidden mechanisms, but none of them fully explain the doorknob turning, the violent shaking, or the intelligent response to the chair being placed as a barrier. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What was in that basement? What did it want? And are the new owners now waking up every morning to find that same door mysteriously open? Some doors are best left closed, but sometimes you don't have a choice. Thanks for watching. And if you have any strange stories from your own home, share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more unexplained mysteries. Stay safe out there.